how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Have You Seen This? Apparently a weekly show on this friggin' channel. That's
That's right. We
it's
changed.
almost new.
How dare. A lot
Hey, I
happens when you
mean,
haven't been locked up by a major entertainment company
I'm
for months
I'm
and months at a
speaking
time.
as much about season one as any other season. Like,
That's true.
I was involved in that. uh, anyhow,
Mhm.
yeah, we got a little bit of news this week. We got some real depressing news. We got some news about a trailer. I randomly found a reality show that was canceled. I'm sure Dave is super depressed.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, he's not gonna sleep tonight.
I know,
Depending
it's
on what it
definitely
is,
not.
like
I have no idea. I've
the
literally never heard of it, but it was canceled
Spain's
after three seasons.
Spain's version of The Circle. Spain isn't getting another version of The Circle.
Oh, that would be depressing.
That would.
So, shall we get into Oh wait, we can't get into the news yet because
Oh
I
boy,
haven't said the big thing, which is how's it going, Rob?
things are going just fine. Thank you for asking. Eventually, Daniel. No,
Eventually, hey,
yeah,
2 minutes
Fred.
into the show.
That's true.
All right.
I thought you did pretty
I'm
good. You did remember
I'm
my
doing
name,
pretty good too.
which is pretty good. Of course, it's
Yeah,
also
you
right there
didn't
on the
remember
screen.
my name last week.
It's right there on the screen. Well, you haven't been around. You were in prison for a long time, and we moved on. It was a whole new thing. We had episodes per week. We had that the little pop up thing. You know, we're not even sure you're still you. We're gonna see. We'll let this play out for a bit, but
Maybe. We'll
you
see.
may be 100% cartoon inside and just a spy for the Orlando-based entertainment company. But we'll see. We're giving you the benefit of the doubt, buddy.
That's what you should always do with people who claim they broke out of Disney prison. Because if if they're lying, you probably don't want to know what nefarious purpose they have, and if they're telling the truth, you do not want to know what that person is capable of. They
I've
broke
seen
out
you
of
framed.
Disney's prison.
I've seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I know what they can do to people. That's legit.
Yes, yes. That's honestly not the worst transition we've ever had.
Look at this. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Train
yeah.
wrecking.
So we do have some news to talk about. In the entertainment world. Would you like to take this away? Because I can't find the article and I want to quote it properly.
Okay, well, you were saying depressing news. I don't know how depressing it is. It's sad news. There's sad news, of course. Bob from Sesame Street, Bob McGrath, passed away this week. 90 years old, so, pretty good run. Not as good as, my grandmother, but still pretty good. Uh, the Sesame Street folks, all very important to my growing up. They taught me how to read. They were the first songs I ever remembered by heart. Uh, Anytime any of the Sesame Street guys, I think is pretty sad, and I don't think is celebrated enough of what they've done. Of course, when I remember when Mr. Hooper died, I was really young, and it was up to Sesame Street and Big Bird to explain to people about what happens when people die and stuff like that. And it's a lot to ask of somebody that they're telling this to a 5-year-old kid. But uh, to see him reach 90 and essentially he never looked any different. Like some people don't dye their hair, some people do. I'm just saying. But yeah, he looked pretty good for being 90 years old. It's been on the show for a few years. But yeah, what a legacy Bob McGrath has left, and you know, to everyone, he's just Bob. Like I would, I would have been lying to you if I would to say, oh, Bob from Sesame Street. What's his last name? I had no idea until this week. No idea. He was
Mm.
just always Bob. So good
And
for you, Bob, and I hope You get to sing a song up wherever you are with Mr. Hooper and I think Kelly's up there or somebody. I don't know. Luis, I think.
And yeah,
Gordon.
a multi-talent actor, musician, and author. Uh, I believe I was just reading he was on the show for over 50 years.
Hmm.
He first debuted with the show in 1969, and his last show was in 2017. So just a couple of years ago, he was still on. I have only seen like 6 episodes of Sesame Street. I'm sure. Like I I definitely watch a lot more like Elmo's World probably.
Oh my God.
Which
Oh,
is,
you can tell. You
you
can
know,
tell. You can tell.
how dare you? Dora could kick Elmo's ass anyway. Or
Yeah.
anyone on Sesame Street.
What? Have you ever met Oscar the Grouch? He lives in a trash can. He doesn't give a shit. He gives no shits. And also,
Dora has a monkey companion.
there are literal monsters on that show. Monsters. Sure. Some of them, the worst thing they do is eat cookies very messily. But they're still monsters. You never can trust them. And Big
And
Bird.
yeah, oh my god.
Now I can't tell if Daniel's frozen or if he's in shock. Okay, let's find
A
out.
little bit of both, actually.
Oh, okay.
I was reading something unimportant, actually. Unimportant to the show.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
yeah. In other news, we have a trailer for a television series that
Yeah.
we have actually talked about because I mentioned this maybe one of my last couple of episodes on the show was me like talking about this like information about the spin-off, and now we have a trailer for I want to call it Gen V. I didn't actually see any reference to it specifically, but I'm gonna call it Gen V.
Ooh, that's I thought it said it. Oh.
Yeah. I
May have been
cannot remember
brainwashed.
anyone saying it in the like clip that we got, but it seems like the boys.
Yeah, it seems like the
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the boys set in high school. It's like if you know, I'm thinking it's kind of like gonna be like almost like a Buffy the Vampire style with way more gore uh and swear words, which is always good.
Yeah. Which also it does seem like it's going to be like kind of more attached to the show than I even thought, because having Starlight right in the trailer kind of makes me like both suspicious and interested.
Right.
Like, was that the only person that they have, and that's why she's in the trailer?
I'm hoping
Or are
so.
they saving other people? But like they have mentioned that it is supposed to run at the same time as like this last season of The Boys. And then
Oh,
like
like in their universe, the time is concurrent or whatever.
yeah,
How we were saying?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they're watching basically like they're watching the same clips of Homelander that everybody else in the world is watching throughout the season. And so that seems interesting, and especially because of the possibilities of what the next season of The Boys is. Any following season of this show is going to be insane just because it exists in this universe.
Yeah, I'm 100% just happy that we're getting additional The Boys related shows out there. I loved even the cartoon. You know, I'm not a big cartoon guy, but I loved was it Diabolical? Was what it was called?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. So yeah, and now with live action, and I think Clancy Brown, is that right? Clancy Brown's in it. So yeah, I can't wait. When does this come on? Do we know yet? Did it say?
It said 2023 from what I saw.
Ugh,
Like, yeah,
that could be any
doesn't.
time.
I know. It doesn't say at all. It's very
Oh shit.
disappointing.
But if they have that much of a trailer and it's that well produced, I wouldn't imagine it would be in like the it wouldn't be in like the third quarter. You would imagine it'd be pretty fast, like hopefully springtime. I'd love it for spring.
At least one of the things I saw was like that it um was like not actually. It's because it's a preview or sneak peek or whatever the hell they call those, like non-trailer trailers.
What?
So that's what I'm more worried about. I assume by the next trailer we will know the release date, but when the next trailer is anybody's guess. This is
This is horseshit.
TV after all.
They show a lot of stuff though. They show a lot of stuff. That can't be just from one episode. You know what I mean? Usually those
Mm.
little sneak peeks are from the first episode, maybe the second episode. But there was like stuff with puppets. There was puppet stuff, not just human stuff. So who knows? Hopefully it's
Yeah,
because
yeah.
somebody's gone insane and they're thinking of puppets, a la Black Noir. And he had that
Or
entire
like
cartoon thing going, which was awesome.
Scarlet Witch, who could probably turn everyone into puppets.
Remember, careful with your
like
Disney talk.
that
Just careful with
Community
the Disney talk.
episode.
Oh, that's true. You can talk about Community. That's
That
funny.
again, both that Community episode and Wanda turning everyone into puppets would be great.
And Angel. Okay, we can also say there was also an Angel episode where a bunch of people.
there was an Angel episode that was also pretty good.
Yeah.
So that about does it for news. Again, I have never heard of the show Legendary, but it's being canceled after 3 seasons.
Legendary. Nope.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. So, is that the reality show that's gone kaput?
Reality competition series. Yes, yes.
Reality.
Oh,
Legendary.
ballroom dancing.
What the hell? That's what it was about? And
Yeah.
I didn't see any of it. You'd figure that'd be right up my alley. Guys, let's just take some novice ballroom dancers and we're going to make them ballroom dancers. From the people that brought you the Dancing with the Stars shit, gross.
Yeah, let's just take a break. We'll reconvene in an hour and we'll give a full review of episode 1, obviously.
We're gonna learn to waltz, guys.
Just pause now. Everyone here can watch it together. No.
I figured you'd be all over it because I thought they'd trick you into thinking it was a How I Met Your Mother kind of reality show with Legendary.
Oh my god, that show is so bad. It still gives me nightmares. There's 2 more seasons coming.
Oh, I said mother, but if you heard father, if you hear father, then maybe
well,
maybe you should talk to somebody.
Again, I think of one and I'm like, oh yes, I love that series, and then I think of the one that I watched while doing this show, and I was like, ah.
I hated
the
it.
Pentaverate was great, Dave.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Fantastic bit of storytelling. Yeah.
So,
terrific.
Speaking of things that we watched and loved, like the Pentaverate, what have we watched this week?
I've watched a few things. First, since you've been out of your prison, have you watched any of the Ring of Power yet?
I actually have not watched any Rings of Power yet. Sure. It's again next on my list, but as I will talk about in a second, I keep running into new shows. They're all premiering.
Okay, because I watched a couple new shows as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. One I'm very excited about. One I'm so far on the fence about. But let's start with the on the fence one the first 2 episodes of Willow drops.
Hmm.
Have you watched Willow yet?
I watched the first episode actually earlier today,
Hmm.
and I I kind of feel the same. I want to watch the second episode, and I'm excited to, but I also like I saw a lot of like things coming. Like it seemed very. I mean, I was watching The Fellowship of the Ring. I was very much watching The Fellowship of the Ring
Well,
for that whole
yeah.
first episode.
Well, it's essentially the movie. The movie is the same kind of thing where they have a quest, uh, and they gather different types of people to go and finish the quest. So yeah, I think the movie borrowed quite heavily from Lord of the Rings, which at the time was just a fairy tale of itself ever getting made.
Mm,
It took a stroke of genius to get that thing done and how to get it done, but they did. Um, Willow, tonally, sort of the same, uh, but you know, with the new characters, it took some getting used to. That first episode, I'm going to say right now, I wasn't a huge fan of. I wasn't a huge fan of until we saw Willow, and then until we saw the little secret that they had at the end of the episode there. I was thrown
mhm.
for a curve in a good way. I did like that. I did like that they kind of changed it up a little bit. The second episode I thought was better. There's more to do.
Mm.
The relationship with Willow and Laura Dannon, very good.
Oh
Uh,
shit! And frickin' Tony Revolori is in this show.
Yes, one of yeah, and yeah, I think he didn't have much to do in that first episode, much more in the second episode, and of course, every time I see Tony Revolori, I get pretty excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that guy. So I think he's doing quite well. Uh, I'm not sure. I think it's an 8 episode series. I think they got a lot to do in 6 episodes for it to make any sense. But
Mm.
yeah, and if I don't have to hear Willow's kid call him Da all the time, uh, I'll be fine with that because that got annoying real fast. But what did what did you think of the one episode you saw? You'd never seen the movie, right?
No, I hadn't. So I did spend a lot of the first episode just one trying to figure out who the hell everybody is.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play catch up with
And
that.
I still don't understand the dude in the dungeon who was let out and then just sent on their quest.
Yeah,
Not
no,
sure who he is.
yeah. I don't know if it's a thing where I just wasn't paying enough attention, but all of a sudden he was just there and stuff like that. So it's like I think they needed him because of the people that were coming to attack the castle or something like that. Those big monsters,
Yeah,
and yeah, and he's pretty good at killing monsters. I think that's all
it
there
seems
is
like
to him.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, he's like just another guy to have with it. I got awful tired of the
Or he's
princess
or
real
he's Mad
fast.
Mardigan in disguise the whole time.
Oh my
That's
god. Could you imagine?
yeah.
He's been living
He's
under
just
their
a
roof the
dad.
whole time. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that the story about the prince being kidnapped, uh not strong, but they need something to go after, which is fine. Um
I
I
was
think
a
it's going to be
little
more of a
confused
side
about
story.
that.
Yeah. I think it's a side story. I think it's more just a way to get Laura Dannon out of the bubble and then
Mm.
start doing things or whatever. You could hear. I'm trying to remember the name. I think that Joanne Wally's character. Her name is Sorsha, if I remember right, and her mother was like the evil witch empress that needed to
Yeah,
have all
yeah.
the babies killed or whatever. So I think yeah, I think that witch maybe showing up in some kind of a Sauron-ish way because you can hear the voices of like I don't know. Yeah, the first two episodes, it's a little jumbled.
Yeah.
It's a little nonsensical, but they had to get from point A to point B, but
And yeah,
unfortunately they have to go to
I
point
assume
G, but
like
I don't know how they're doing it.
I guess the whole point is to, I mean, quite literally set it up as like a brother and a sister, but like set up the dichotomy of like the good and evil other than just
Hmm.
and Willow and Elora, who are like, well, Elora is technically a new character to everyone because she's a baby in the first one, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And so one, like that character either needs to stick the landing or a lot of things go off the rails very quickly.
I think she has. I think
I
she's
think
been
she's done
one of
an
the.
impressive ass
Yeah,
job.
I think she's the one who's actually surprised me the most. And yeah, the show was based just more around her.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna work if they start going on to the secondary characters.
But
Um,
then yes,
I don't see
like
it. Yeah.
I assume like the whole point is to recreate the group a little bit too. Like the evil sorcerer is going to be the brother resurrected through him somehow, and then
Hmm.
you have the Kit taking the role of her mother, and then either uh Tony Revolori's character, jeez,
Well, her mother was a bad guy for 80% of that first movie.
again,
So
yes,
yeah,
but
I
like
don't know. I don't know.
kind of
If you
like
saw the
to
movie, you know.
like take down again. I got her version of it,
Yep.
which was yeah. I obviously didn't trust the narrating that I got, but I was just speaking from what it said in the first episode,
Hmm.
where she claims she
Well,
did much nicer things. Yeah.
she did. She eventually did, but yeah, it was her job to kill Alora Dannon, and she was well on her way to doing that for quite a bit of that first movie. Until she fell for a rogue scoundrel who may or may not ever end up on this show, but his has been mentioned a couple of times. So I'm imagining he's going to show up somehow. Just
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what they're going to do with him. Give him a
No idea.
make sure he wears a scarf or something. I guess.
But yeah,
So,
I assume that uh there's going to be some magic learning in the next couple of episodes, and there will probably be some fighting training for uh again, should probably learn that guy's name by the time I'm watching the next episode. Um but especially because I was watching with subtitles, and Disney Plus's subtitles were actually really good. They had everybody's names up, which helped tremendously. But
right.
I still can't remember his because he's just Tony Revolori to me. And
Well, I just looked up. There, the guy that we're talking about. His name is Borman, which is
Borman is
yeah,
the weirdo from the
yeah,
dungeon.
the big weirdo.
Yeah.
Well, like Tony Revolori is the
Who's the
prince,
prince?
Graydon, I believe his name.
Graydon. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And then
Prince Graydon. So yeah, no,
and
I was talking about Borman, the guy who was locked up in the dungeon, just decided to get taken out just so he could walk around with these guys and kill monsters. So it's whatever, fine.
it seems like fun.
Didn't make any sense, but yeah, that's fine.
I mean, the the queen, is she the queen? The
I don't
queen
know if
lets them
she. I
out
don't know if she
because
is.
she knows the monsters are here, and she knows what the monsters are and what they're here for, so she lets out her monster hunter.
Yeah, I don't. don't think she considers herself the queen because I think they keep saying that the real empress or whatever is Alora Dannon. So I
Hmm.
think she may just be like the steward of Gondor for this place for now. Her mother was the evil emperor before, but I don't think she considers herself the queen. She's just running things until Alora Dannon's ready. But they had to hide
Right.
her for whatever reason because I thought everybody was dead. But some things start coming out in the second episode. I just don't want to tell you about them yet. You can figure it out when you watch it. God damn it! What else have you been watching?
Yeah. So I was actually gonna start episode 3 before the show as well, but
Hmm.
I got home a little late from work, and so I was able to squeeze in the first episode of Willow, and then I didn't have enough time for like any 40-minute to an hour long show. But
Hmm.
there's this nice little half-hour show that I've been watching for some crazy thing like 14 seasons or something. I
Oh
I
boy.
cannot remember at this point. But it's a show called Archer.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, there's a new season of Archer out on Netflix, and
Hmm.
I've watched a couple episodes. At this point, the agency is run by somebody else.
Well, I was one.
After
Yeah, I was
yeah,
wondering what they were gonna be able to do because it'd be a little tough
they
to have
they
Archer's mom still
actually
on the show.
yeah, that was actually very like well done, honestly.
Okay.
Her like they had enough recording from her either like in anticipation of something like that happening or
Well,
just I
other
don't know how
episodes they
they did
haven't
it.
used, right?
Yeah. I don't know how they did it exactly, but they had a like whole retirement for her in a couple episodes like in previous seasons already. And
Yeah.
she basically just like she sells the agency off, gets finally rich, and just retires to a beach. It's pretty great. It's a fun little send off, and then like that episode is dedicated to her, and it aired like uh yeah, I cannot remember exactly which season that was, but it was like just after she passed. She was in a few more episodes, and then yeah, she just has not been in the show since.
So,
They did the same with Woodhouse actually when the actor who played him passed.
oh yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I love that heroin addicted bastard. Uh, so is there like a theme to this season then, or is it they just at the agency again and that's it? There isn't
it's
a noir, there isn't like a Indiana Jones style one or anything like that.
yeah, they are actually like they're the kitschy like home brand version wing of the IIA, which is like the international spy agency that is
Right.
big and corporate, and they're the I mean, seemingly like mom and pop shop, but they're owned by the IIA guy, and so they're just there to do work that gets refused by the big brand.
How strong are the episodes? Like I've of the that noir season, I didn't finish it. I didn't not like it. It's just that I watched some of it. And it's like okay, I got it. And
Yeah,
that one where they're on the island or whatever. Again, I watched some of it and say okay, I get it. I didn't watch any more of it. But those what is it first 8 seasons or whatever, I couldn't get enough of it. Are
mhm.
we back to episodes like that, or like strong
Yeah,
episodes like that,
yeah.
or is it where it
The
doesn't
the
necessarily need to tie together every episode? They can have standalone episodes again.
mostly, like there have been like a storyline thread throughout like each season so far, but it's not like the couple of one-off seasons that are all I mean, all take place in Archer's coma. So, like, there's actually one that you didn't even mention, which is the
That
space
one, I was
season.
gonna say when they're out in space. I never watched any of
Yeah,
it.
that one is actually really funny and like does I mean all of them have Barry in them to a degree, but that one has one of the best Barrys. And then I do believe they do finally get to have their fight in space, even if it does technically take place in Archer's head.
Oh my god.
And yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. And then like he does again eventually wake up in whichever season that happens in, and they've been back to being a spy agency for a little while now. They
Okay,
were
so
yeah.
if I can find the goddamn time, I can jump in at some point or whatever, and after the theme seasons, and just continue on like it was Archer was before he was knocked into a coma.
Pretty much, yeah. Like he does make a couple of references to them in especially like the first couple episodes after waking up.
Hmm.
And I think there is one episode where he like is glitching out kind of and he
Hmm.
keeps remembering shit as like the alien season even though he's in the waking world now. And so like there are some callbacks to the seasons, but they are mostly just like forgettable because I mean technically no one was there but Archer, so it's not like he can share trauma with anyone about it.
Do you watch Bob's Burgers as well?
I watch it less, but I do watch Bob's Burgers. Um I especially love like the early seasons, and then like I I fell off, but also like watch it when I'm going to bed all of the time. So I definitely haven't seen all of the episodes that I fall asleep during, but I just go on to the next one because it's all pretty much the same.
How, see, I would have a tough time just because H. John Benjamin is the voice of Archer and the voice of Bob from Bob's Burgers. So yeah, I would, yeah, and it's not like it's just his voice. Like H. John Benjamin doesn't do anything to his voice. That's just the
Yeah.
way he talks. So yeah,
there's
yeah,
there's a
I would
whole
have a hard
Archer
time.
episode about that. When he has freaking what do you call it? Well, what do you call it when you hit your head and you can't remember
Amnesia,
anything?
amnesia. Oh my
Amnesia.
goodness gracious! This is, you know what? This is starting to answer a lot more questions.
I just got sudden onset amnesia where I forgot what amnesia was.
I think that's its whole point. Oh my goodness gracious.
Phew. Wow. Yeah.
Sudden onset amnesia. It's a plague. It's been happening too often.
And
Scary
yeah,
thing.
so fun hijinks. I don't know if does Lana have a baby before the special seasons or after the special seasons?
I'm thinking after. I'm thinking
So yeah,
after.
so Lana has a baby, and then also there's a time skip before like this season, so she's like 10 now or
Mm.
so there's like a 10-year-old child who is kind of a super spy already because like Lana just keeps sending her to all of like judo training and space camp and science camp and
Is the ocelot still around?
yes. It was in the most recent episode that I was watching.
I love it.
It was really funny. I'm not even sure Ocelot lived that long at this point. And yeah, that I will watch the episode of Willow. I watched some Archer. I mostly have started a very slow rewatch of all of the uh well, just the new Doctor Who, but I I need something, and I think like I'm trying to actually watch it slowly because
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna watch it twice before the new season, so I want what's there to last me to the new seasons, which is not gonna happen.
I've been starting a rewatch from the beginning, so a lot of it
Hmm.
I haven't seen. So I'm still in the first Doctor. I'm still even in that first season. It's just there's so much television to watch. There's so
Yeah,
much, but yeah, I've
right.
been watching it myself as well. Really like it. I really like the first Doctor stuff. It is of its time. Get it for sure. It is 1963, and it feels it. But yeah, it's been pretty fun to go back and watch these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, these were kid shows, and it's like I don't get it. Like this, I don't see how these were kid shows, but all right, that's fine. Still entertaining to me. Uh, One show that I have been watching, and I have frigging loved it, and I just wish that I had started it a little sooner so that I could have had it finished before the show showed up today. But I'm 6 episodes in, and one of my favorite shows of the entire year so far is Wednesday,
Hmm.
the Tim Burton directed uh, Adams Family sort of. I don't know if it's a spin-off or what, but it's its own encapsulated show. Um, you know, uh, Gomez and Morticia and Pugsley are in a
Yeah.
couple episodes. That's it. The rest is just Wednesday, and
And
it's
that's what I was trying to say last week. And now that you've actually seen it was like I I wasn't sure if like the whole going to the boarding school and like what the high school story was going to be, and if that was going to be again, it could have been Buffy, but it could also be like really really bad.
okay. I'm gonna try. I'll try and do an elevator pitch of it now.
Yeah.
Buffy mixed with Harry Potter, but
Yeah.
morbid, but morbid. Like
That seems about right.
yeah,
And yeah, like
it's
I've now
fantastic.
watched two episodes. I have like 3 and 4 downloaded, and it was going to be what I watched if I had an extra hour before the show, but I did not.
Well,
Uh
find the extra hours tonight because yeah, no, I'm
yeah,
finishing it tonight before I go to bed because I have to know what's going on. But
it's
yeah,
it's really
six
fun.
episodes in, it's been terrific. Well, and Christy, so good. Everybody is so good. They're all so good. And you know how I think about child actors, but these aren't really children. I guess these are, you
Mm.
know, they're probably like 20 something years old or whatever, but they're playing like they're 15 or whatever it is, 14. But yeah,
And yeah, like
I don't
the
have a complaint about anybody, and that is so rare where I can just watch a show and I can enjoy. Doesn't matter who comes up, I enjoy them all.
like relay race that they had to do in the second episode, and like just all the ways the different freaking like monster creature peoples were
Hmm.
trying to cheat in this race was just amazing.
Yeah,
And to be fair, I think there was that one group who just didn't do anything.
the
They didn't
Jokers.
try to cheat, they were just trying to win.
Yeah, suckers.
Yeah, and that's why they sank first.
Yeah. Well, there's one group that decided they're gonna have full on battle axes on their canoes. I couldn't believe. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, and it it's been a lot of fun. It's been like again, like as I was saying last week, I knew all of the Wednesday things were perfect
Mhm.
from like the first 10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega plays such a good Wednesday Adams that I was like, holy crap.
And
And
nice to have
then
Christina Ricci in the show as well.
Yeah, that was fun,
Hmm.
and the principal is a lot of fun too. Like
Gwendolyn
I wasn't
Christie.
sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure how much I was gonna like that character, but she's been like just just the right amount of always there, but never like seen until the very end of a scene where like I don't know, just like I feel like everyone's well placed as well as like the story is just very fun.
And they don't shy away. Like they don't focus on the gore. They don't focus on a lot of things, but they don't shy away from it because
Mm,
yeah, there's some scenes coming in some episodes here, and it's like you remember it's like, oh yeah, this isn't a kids show. This is
yeah,
not for kids, or
and
they're for very warped kids.
trying to think. What else have we watched?
What else have you watched? You had a lot of time. You had some time.
I did,
Just
and
just reliving episodes in your head of things.
yes, I honestly rewatch way too much television to watch new things, but um yeah, I can't think of anything super specific from the past week.
Right.
Anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Well,
What's what
I've
happened
also
on the last episode of Survivor?
Survivor. Okay, so
Because Dave was
actually,
talking about
We're
it
talking
earlier.
Survivor?
oh, we're talking Survivor. Oh, look who shows up. Our corpulent ghost.
Hey, I've been having some tech problems on my end, so I'm
That's
just
true. And your room isn't green anymore, which is a nice change.
it's true, it's pink and blue now, so that's
Oh
fun.
boy, come on. Listen to this. Unbelievable. Yeah, let's
So
talk
yes,
some
more like this
Survivor.
season. What what are you mad about? What's going good and what's going bad this season?
I haven't been mad about much of anything. I think the
Except
season's been fine.
advantages?
Like I'm mad about the same thing I'm mad about all the
Yeah.
time. There's just too many advantages in the game, and they
Rob,
need to
you
cut it out.
say that. They
Mhm.
literally have used like none of the advantages this season.
But those
People keep getting
advantages are
voted
they're
out
like
with them.
advantages are shields. Like they all know about them. It's like why waste my vote on this when this guy could just do it? Like
But
when everybody knows, then yeah, and then it's a problem. If there's one and
yeah.
one guy can keep a secret, then it can be played at any point.
Yeah, but you say that, but Jesse is holding two idols and nobody knows about one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Well,
the other one doesn't
all
even
they
belong
need
to
to
him.
know, all they need to know is one.
Yeah, but everyone thinks Cody has that one. But Dan, to answer your question, this season reminds me a lot of older seasons of Survivor, where it's just this is fine. I think the cast is really good. They've been
Hmm.
casting really good seasons. I think it's just this is one of those seasons where it's pretty obvious who's gonna win. You
Mm.
get some of those blowout seasons every once in a while, and so it's just one of those things where you're along for the ride, and I've been enjoying it for the most part. Um, but Jesse is just far and away like if him or Carla doesn't take it, like what have we been watching?
Well, yeah, that's what it came down to myself as well. It's going to be the two of them, and then I'm just thinking, at some point, what these guys have to smarten up, though, right? You would imagine, you would think that what is his name, the surfer guy, Cody. You think at some point he's going to smarten up and say, you have to drop out of this at some point because there's no way that people are going to vote for you,
You would
not with
think
that guy
so,
there.
but he did spell perspective wrong on the side of
That's
their
true.
canoe.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't realize it. So, I don't know if he really has the perspective to see that he's the losing finalist.
Who gets dragged along now?
I think
You think Cat?
Gabler,
You think? Oh,
probably.
okay. Yeah. Uh,
Uh, yeah, there's a couple of people who
Cassidy.
are. Yeah, the only reason I actually think Cassidy goes out at 5, just because
She's actually won?
No, because I don't know anything about her.
Okay.
Did they have to remove anyone?
Nobody has had to be removed. That only happened one time. That happened one time that someone had to be removed for inappropriate touching.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
shit.
I meant.
I forgot. Oh shit.
Yeah, the worst
Whoa,
season of Survivor.
I
Oh my
was
god.
referencing the season we watched where, like, one person had to be, or two people had to be medically removed.
Did they? Who had to be removed in season 42?
I think he's talking earlier than that. I think he's talking earlier than that. Just an earlier season when people had to be removed.
No,
I
he's
know,
talking
like,
about season
like
42.
oh, I don't know. I was
Yeah.
going back to like when Scoopin' and stuff like
the,
that
the
had to get
guy,
removed.
the guy on lithium.
Oh. That's right, Jackson.
Yeah.
No, nobody had to be removed. I totally
No.
forgot about Jackson. That's right. Yeah, no, nobody's had to be removed. It's actually been a pretty straightforward season where again, it goes back to classic episodes where or classic seasons where there's a couple dominant people out in front, and you're like, well, it's gonna be one of them. And then this last episode, Carla, who I think is the second most likely person
Yeah.
to win, made some really just bad, had some really terrible reads where I'm like, that's where she's like, you know what? I think people might know about my idol. You know what I should do? Vote out my closest ally.
Close episode. Like, what? All right.
For
She's got
no
island
reason.
madness now.
Yeah. So I do think though, so it's going to be Jesse, who is this is why I'll never be able to get on Survivor now. I'm not this inspirational, Dan. Listen to this guy. He
That's
is a former gang member, now PhD PhD student at I forget where he is, but it's one of the Ivy League schools. He's dad in the suburb, totally reformed, but then he's got all the like flashbacks and pictures to like gang life, and it's just like, oh, that's crazy. It's like
It's
I'm
almost
just
the
a
exact.
regular
It's
suburban
the
guy.
exact opposite of your life.
Literally,
Yeah.
When you were a PhD student
Yeah.
who went down a bad path, and now you're part of a gang, and you're getting all these new tattoos.
Yes, that's what
Also,
what the Star Wars shelf is about. Yes.
Yeah.
that's like fully Survivor bait too.
You
like,
keep yelling at everyone
Yeah.
to assemble. Assemble.
Yeah.
And what the fuck?
like it's great that he's like I assume it's good that he's good at the game, because yeah, that is a storyline that audiences will
Mhm.
eat up. Like,
Plus, Survivor is doing those things now where everyone starts talking and then the music gets low and
Yeah.
there's slow motion montages about how hard everything's been and blah blah blah. The stuff that I cannot frigging stand. I cannot stand it.
I will say though, I both loved and we won't talk about Survivor for too long because I think it's just one of those things where there's not a lot to talk about. But Rob, how did you feel this episode about the return of the classic waterboarding challenge?
I was gonna ask you the same question.
Excuse me?
But, yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah, they're willing to let people drown. is
So
what they're saying.
what you do, Dan? They have out in the ocean like a metal grate,
Mhm.
and then you hang underneath it with your face through the bars.
Right,
And
right,
the,
right.
And the tide slowly comes up, and like will slowly drown you, and it's who can stay under there the longest.
Yeah.
Excellent.
4
And-
people died. Not
But-
cast members. Not cast
No,
members.
no,
Just the
all-
people they pay to go and try it out.
But this was the. This has also been the season of Jeff declaring a lot of things that have. He's like, this has always been this way, and I'm like, what are you talking about, Jeff?
Yeah. What?
Because in this challenge stand, this has never happened before. 2 people, Owen, who I really enjoy, but is just not in a good spot to win,
No.
and Carla, who I think is one of the front runners to win,
Mhm.
stayed under there so long that the tides actually started receding. So they're like, well, now there's no challenge.
Yeah, there was
so
no
they
there
just
was no chance of them drowning anymore. So
Yeah.
both you guys win.
so there's just so and Jeff was like, "Yeah, you beat the challenge, you did it," and I'm like, "Sir, I remember season 10. Tom and Ian were out on those buoys for 14 hours."
Yeah, they should have dropped. They should have dropped the grate. Guys,
Yeah.
we're lowering this grate. This is
That-
enough. Is enough.
Pearl Islands, they straight up just had a hold your breath underwater challenge.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what it should have came down to. It's
Yeah.
like, guys, take a deep breath because the first one that comes up loses. Forget it.
Well, I was not a fan of that, but this was also
They
but-
kept talking about how it was classic and stuff like that. It's a classic. Like when I'm thinking Survivor, am I thinking of the drowning competition?
This is
I'm
the
not.
challenge. This is the challenge I think about when I think about old school Survivor. Even though like they've only done it 4 times before this, but it is one of those challenges when you think about like, if I said think of a Survivor challenge, this would probably be in like the first 5 you would name, because it's just one of those things that only exists in Survivor, and it's always exciting when it comes back up, and it's a big step up from what most challenges are, which are all right.
Obstacle course, fix a puzzle.
Oh well, no, that I like. What I don't like is a lot of the newer era stuff where it's ready, set, stand perfectly still,
Oh yeah.
and it's like balance on this beam, or
Yeah,
don't.
5 minutes later, you got to move down to the next spot.
Yeah, or balance this pole balance this log on your head in between the crossbeam above you, or hold
I
that
missed
bar really tight.
I miss the eating competition. I miss the balut eggs, and I miss
Yeah.
the grubs. I miss those kind of
Yeah.
things. You want to survive on that effers.
Yeah, but now they're just in Fiji. So
Like
they
it's an
don't-
old. You guys, here's your trick. You guys win
What?
if you eat this old hand.
I think they should
It's
go
just some
back
severed hand. You gotta eat.
with.
They have no bugs in Fiji.
No, but like they don't have
I
like
guess
any.
so.
Like, it used to be, and this is why they don't do it anymore. They used to go and do like, oh, look at this local cuisine. Isn't it gross, white people?
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
Like you know what else they don't do? They don't show them hunting rats or anything like that anymore. No one does that.
that's because they got. That's because Natalie White got dysentery.
Yeah.
So they are like, don't eat the rats.
Mhm.
They might have diseases.
Yeah. This is how the bubonic plague started.
Yeah.
Basically, they still hunt rats, but they don't show it, and then they hunt a rat, and then off camera, someone will trade you bread for a rat.
They did.
Just so that you won't eat the rats, but like, if you're that hungry and you go hunting for them, we'll give you some fucking food.
In Game Changers, they did almost eat that goat that they caught, but then they saw
Oh,
that
yes.
they had a baby.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh my god.
They cornered they spent like 20 minutes, Dan, trying to corner this goat, and then its baby came out of the woods, and they're like, we can't eat it. There's its baby.
Wow.
Except for
That-
Sandra, which is why I love her, who was like,
Yeah.
no, let's eat them both.
She's a maniac.
That's why she won twice. That cutthroat energy.
She
But-
ate both of those competitions.
Exactly. But yeah, Rob, so do you, I've been saying Jesse, I think, is the front runner for this whole thing. Do you got any other picks, or who do you
No,
think?
no. I think you were right in saying Jesse and Carla. I think Carla. I think might have a better chance than Jesse.
Really?
Yeah, I just find Jesse might have to get out Cody, and that might. I think it's gonna be close between the two of them, and I think if Jesse's gonna have to turn on Cody, and I don't think Cody would ever do it to Jesse. So
I don't know, man. And maybe this is just like, maybe this is just cynicism talking. But it's
boy.
been since Survivor, the stretch between Survivor 23 or 22 to 25 that we've had 3 women win back to back to back. I don't think we're gonna have another woman win. Just the math says that a man has to win at some point. I know we had that. I know we had
I
that
get it.
6 run. that run where a woman hadn't won in 7 years,
hmm
but you know.
No Canadians on it, so it could be anybody.
I
Then.
found out why there's no Canadians on this season.
Too good.
No, they're all on the Real Love Boat.
What?
Yeah, it's the
The
same
what?
casting. So it's like it's a dating show
Yeah,
on the.
and
It's
it's
the Real Love
hosted by
Boat.
the two schmucks.
No, it's hosted by the guy from Rob. He jumped realities.
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell. Yeah, it's hosted by Jerry O'Connell and his wife.
Yeah. Was it Rebecca? Is it Rebecca Romaine?
Yes, there we go.
Who I keep still wanting to say Stamos, but that is not right
No,
anymore.
No, can't say that. But yeah, it's
Mystique.
yeah, but yeah, it's the same casting director that does Survivor, The Real Love Boat, and American Big Brother, and apparently like half the cast of Real Love Boat is Canadian. I don't watch it. I just follow some people on Twitter who talk about it. So
Sure,
they're
sure.
like, did everyone who applied for Survivor just get on the Real Love Boat instead?
So my wife was watching the show. I said, "What the fuck are you watching?" She said, "I'm watching the Love Boat." It's like, "Oh, they got they got a Love Boat." It's like, "Well, no, it's like the dating show Love Boat." It's like, "What?" So they don't have the bartender. They don't have the the bartender. It's like, nope, just a bunch of jerks trying to date each other. And it's like, do they have the song? And I don't know if they had the song.
I don't know.
Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine tuning into the Love Boat and there's no song? Unbelievable.
What I do
Is
know.
there a gopher? Is there a gopher?
I don't know, man. What I do know is apparently when they
Charo?
me.
Is Charo on the show?
when someone gets I don't know what they call it, not voted out, but like when they are not selected to continue on the Real Love Boat, they are
They get-
They
sent-
throw them into the
Walk-
sea?
they're
They
walked
throw them
off
into the
the
ocean?
plank?
No, they are literally just left in the country that they happen to be at the time.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh,
and
oh boy.
Also,
And then, like, they
terrible.
So
obviously-
they're sent to prison. So they're sent to prison.
Yeah, they actually just keep circling Cuba and they're like, American.
They just throw an old door. They throw an old door out of the boat and says, "You want to get back? Start paddling."
They have a much smaller, shittier boat that follows behind the
I
other
don't like
boat,
it. I
and it
I
picks
don't know what
you
Captain
up.
Stubing would think of this. I think he'd be pretty upset.
I actually like to think, because I know
We'll be
it's like-
along in like a week.
I like to think that what actually happens is the moment the cameras stop rolling, they get back on the boat, but are told, you stay on that part of the boat with the regular people.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
normies. Or they have to work their way back.
They're the bartenders now. You didn't make it, but you are the wait staff.
They're the ones that have to go and do the scripted part of the show. All this has been fine or whatever, but they're running 2 Love Boats. They're going to do a whole new scripted thing
At some
just to
point, they're
appease
talking
Rob,
to the captain.
where there's going to be magic and romance for everyone. And then there's the other show where everybody gets kicked off and left at sea.
Yeah.
They're introducing the captain in episode 8, and you're like, isn't that the guy who got kicked out in episode 1?
He's bald now, though. Now he's bald.
But yeah, that's Survivor.
I was about to say, that's reality TV for you. If it's an idea, they've probably done it.
Yeah. Have you, Rob? We actually never talked about it. Did you watch The Mole on Netflix?
I haven't watched it. We were talking about the other things, but yes, I fully intend to. I enjoyed The Mole when it was on
Me too.
ABC.
With Anderson Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm 100% interested in seeing it. I just haven't had the time to do it. Hopefully, I can get it done before our big year-end shows coming up here.
Oh, for sure. I haven't watched it yet either. But I hope we can jump on that. Dan, do you know what The Mole is?
I do not know what the mole is.
Rob, you want to tell him what The Mole is? I feel like Dan would enjoy The Mole.
Yeah, if I remember right, a group of people trying to follow clues to get from one destination to another, but one of the people on there is working against the
Sounds
group.
like Dora.
Oh my god. Are you talking one swiper?
Yeah, one is Swiper. No, it's that fucking
Yeah.
map. That map sucks.
Yeah,
Fuck
following clues to get from one destination to another. This
So
sounds
anyways,
like Dora the Explorer.
They all have to then try and vote to see if they can vote out the mole. Yeah. So
So they have,
Okay, okay, so it's Mafia.
kinda, yeah. So they have like a series of tasks that they have to
nice, yeah.
accomplish, and but they have someone in the group is working against them, and then at the end of
Right.
every round, everyone.
Oh, so it's Among Us.
Yes. It actually, yeah. You know what? That's actually not right because the mole is trying to sabotage them, and at the end, it's not like voting like I vote for Rob. I think Rob is the mole. You have to fill out like a whole survey apparently.
there's like a questionnaire kind of
questionnaire about like why is this person the mole and stuff, and then they
Yeah.
accumulate all those answers to eliminate someone, and then
Mhm.
I don't know, and then you win at the end by being the mole and surviving or finding the mole.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. They brought it back for a reason. It was a good show. The celebrity moles I actually even enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe even though they had like the same celebrities as all the other, like Corbin Burnson or something like that. One of
Are
the
they
fucking
like? Are
Baldwins.
they self-contained? Is it like one
Oh, no.
episode has
No.
one mole?
No, it's like
'Cause-
Amazing Race. It's like the Amazing
Yes.
Race.
Yeah, but I was thinking like that could be kind of difficult to actually coordinate because like you have certain seasons where like they don't find the mole and the mole wins, and I feel like those would
I'm
take
not touching anything.
generally longer. Like it would generally take longer for the mole to win than for the mole to be found out midway through, and so that seems like a very complicated season to
What I
juggle.
like to imagine is the seasons where the cast immediately figures out who the mole is. They just don't air those ones.
Yeah.
They shoot like 7.
Well, yes, that's why I said like midway.
Yeah, you shoot like 7 at a time, and you're like, all right, this one is the one where the mole lasted the longest.
Hmm. Then you need like
then they just
7
script-
love
they
votes,
just-
though.
They just script out a bunch. They just script out a bunch. Oh my gosh, you're right.
That's my imagination. There's actually 7 of them, and they're filming 7 seasons at the same time. And they
Everybody
just go
gets to
from-
be the
It's
mole.
kind of like what The Circle does, where they film 3 seasons at a time, and just like each floor, they have one person from that season on that floor.
Okay.
So like it's
okay.
a 7 story.
And the Spice Girls, we're gonna get the rest of the Spice Girls.
I would love if the rest of the Spice Girls were in, because I think another season is coming soon.
We're gonna get Mel C and Ginger.
Next, Lance Bass was sort of on last
Right.
one of the seasons. So,
Lance
Yeah.
Bass is my favorite Spice Girl.
well, I'm just saying we could get anybody.
They'll get the 98 Degrees guys, and they're gonna go, "Who the fuck? Who are you? What? Who?" It's like,
Joey Fatone was on freaking Celebrity Big Brother and voted himself out.
the fat one.
Voted
fuck?
himself out.
Mhm.
No, that's not a joke. He did.
I don't want to be here anymore.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Not
the
as-
the Celebrity Big Brother, not well thought out.
Not
It-
as much. Yeah. No, he didn't pull like a full Meta World Peace, who quit 2 different reality shows.
Yeah.
But
Meta World Peace.
pretty bad. That's been Dave's
All right.
Reality Realness.
Speaking of, though, we should quit this reality show.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is how it ends. Season 3.
I
episode
mean,
13.
I just meant for this week, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like
Oh, well.
we've been here an hour. Like, well, we'll probably come back next Tuesday.
Oh, god damn it. There was a moment where I was like, this is going to be our shortest show ever. Shouldn't have talked about The Love Boat, a show none of us have watched.
But we all have now, and I think it's better
Actually-
in our head canon than it ever would have been on screen.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
worst part is I think our best content was our content about the Love Boat, which none of us have watched.
Hey,
What this show is going to
That's
be
true.
from now on, us just talking about shows we haven't seen.
all right. A week where we have nothing to talk about. We
Mhm.
do a book report on a show, but one of us is the mole, and they don't watch the show.
I think
Now,
that happened.
It would be impossible to. Well, I
I'm
guess
going
we
to
could
talk
just
Andor.
have.
I'm talking Andor. That's
Yeah. Hey, I've seen 11
Dave?
episodes.
it. What?
Do we need like do we need to do this show when like I could just give you a list of like Schmodown matches I did that for?
Dan, we had a whole series on this thing where I never watched an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, just buzzwords
Sure.
and disagreeing with Lou. That's all it was. That's all it was back in the day.
Perfect.
That was pretty easy to do whenever he was on, but then sometimes like especially because I would go through round by round, I liked to be like more meticulous about it. So having to come up with that having not seen the matches was more difficult.
Oh my god, Dan.
Yeah.
Anyway, you trying to end the show?
That's
Pretty
it.
much.
That's
We're
it right
getting there. We're getting there. Let's crash this train when we get to it. Well, what was wrong
Oh
with
my
that?
god, there's his favorite. There's his favorite. Yeah, that's you, buddy.
Oh, I thought that was a GIF. I didn't realize it was a whole video.
No, so yeah.
That one, yeah. I actually know and recognize that video. I love it. So, speaking of train lovers, I guess, Dave, you got some pluggables?
You have no idea how much
He
of a
loves a
train
train.
lover I am. I live in the railway capital of Canada, St. Thomas.
I
Ontario.
actually love trains too,
Did you?
All over
honestly.
the world.
Worked
Join
at the train
hands.
museum every year in high school.
Join the love train. Love train.
It's a little old place. where
New reality
we
TV
can
show was
train
born.
together.
Oh my god. That's not
Anyway.
it at all.
So for me, you can find
We
me
could
at
train together.
yeah.
You take a
At least-
train from BC to Newfoundland, and by the end of it, you either like have a marriage proposal or don't. It's the proposal, but on a train.
Canada's so big. Couldn't we do like
It's a
Mexico?
long train ride. It's a long train ride.
Well, it's because you would have a couple of days to film.
Days. How long? How fast is this train going?
Not super fast,
Bullet train too.
but not like super slow either. Canada's really fucking big.
Yeah, it's really big. Anyway, for me, you can find me
It
at
just takes
least-
3 days to drive to Manitoba from Quebec, so.
Yeah.
That seems like a
It takes
long
me
time.
that long too. But I guess I live in like Canada's like in.
I
Yeah.
can make it
Mm.
to Toronto in 22 hours.
Damn.
I drive
Okay,
like a fucking
yes.
madman.
Again, I was describing a 22-hour drive. You just don't do that in one sitting.
Maybe you don't, coward. Anyway,
Yeah.
you find me at Leaves Me
No, you
Alone on
Don't, because
Facebook,
it's illegal.
on Twitter. You can find me here at Northern Entertainment Group at
One of them.
Tuesdays. We have shows all the time. But more specifically, maybe for the third time ever, you can catch me on another show on another network in like half an hour. I'm going to be on our good friend Ben's channel, Multiverse of Geekdom, talking Lost as I'm want to do. This episode, Hearts and Minds, the first Boone Carlisle flashback episode, the incest episode.
Oh. So
You just
they thought
said
incest. They
several
thought
things I
Dave.
didn't understand.
Guys, this thing is chock full of incest. We got Dave?
No,
Yes.
I'm coming on
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk about why it's happening from a behind the scenes place. Spoilers. It's because nobody could find the showrunner.
What?
He just
To ask
disappeared.
him if this was a good idea?
Yeah, he just
Are
left.
you saying the showrunner was lost?
Fuck, man! I wish Dan, you should come to me
Fuck.
last. That's such a good joke. Oh, I wish I
Oh
could end
my
the
God.
episode.
I don't have any pluggables. Get out of here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's so good. I'm gonna tell people that I came up with that.
That's fine.
Rob, where can people find
I'm-
you?
You can find me if Twitter is that still, do people say is Twitter still existing? You can find me at Snark Yeti on it, and I'll probably not do anything there. So follow at your own
Risk.
peril. Oh yeah, I guess risk would be about the same. You can find me, of course, here. You can find me also on this channel talking with our buddy 50. We talk lots about Doctor Who. I'm not on every week, but it seems like I'm on quite a bit, and I have quite a bit of fun doing it. I'm doing stuff over Let's Get Ready Network. Tomorrow, they're launching the new LGR highlights goddamn channel right here on the old YouTube with a special hour or a live episode of Starting 11 featuring moi talking World Cup. And that's really where you can find me. If you try and finding me on Instagram, there's no pictures of me. There's pictures of my friends that other people think are pictures of me.
Dave, what's a World Cup?
I'm going to attack you.
I think it's what God drinks out of.
Ah,
That seems fair. Anyway, you can find me also on Twitter that I don't really use, and like you will notice that it goes down when Twitter burns down before I do. That is almost a guaranteed fact.
wow.
And you can also find me in 30 years telling my grandkids that I wrote that Lost joke earlier.
Dan. The world's not going to live long enough for any of us to have grandkids.
Sure, that's also fair.
How dare
I
you?
also didn't put in enough years.
No, your daughter can be slit.
All I know, I'm just happy that that joke will be as relevant in 30 years from now and just as fresh.
People will still be trying to figure out Lost.
When
at
did
that
when did
point,
Lost
so-
get off the air? Lost got off the air
2000.
what 10 years ago?
2010. Phew.
12 years. 12 years, guys.
Have there been 2 Losts since Lost?
No, there's only
Okay.
been...
What's going on here? What's
I
happening?
don't even know. Dan,
What is
just tell me I
happening
can
here?
end the show.
There's 6 or less seasons of Lost, right?
Yeah, there's only...
Then I'm
100
correct.
112 episodes.
There
I'm
have been 2.
confused and sleepy.
Yeah. So, speaking of confused and sleepy, we all are, so we should probably end this show, and then I need to go get some food and then go to sleep. But
Some things never change.
What a bragger.
yes. All right. So, that about does it for us. So until next week, for myself, for Dave, who is usually in the back, but he's here today, and for Snark, who is creeping up on you. Maybe he has as nefarious purposes with the audience as he did with this show. Maybe he's taking over your life next. And with that, we will see you next week.